Monday morning. Early Monday morning. Catherine and Morgan are already gone though. A lot going on this week. New listing coming on the market. We have 2 closings. One of the closings is signing this morning, and that's where Catherine and Morgan are at. It's for a buyer that we're representing, and typically we would not be going to a signing, but this is a longtime friend of Catherine's. In fact, when Catherine bought her very first condo, this was her roommate in her first condo. So the thing that kind of helped Catherine get started with real estate investing, this was, I guess, Catherine's very first tenant, so to speak. And now Catherine's helping her become a first-time home buyer. She's buying a condo. So a lot of projects going on this week, a lot of checklists to check and to-do lists to do. Starting to sound like a Dr. Seuss book. Been reading a lot of Dr. Seuss books to Morgan, so I think that's getting in my head a little bit. But a lot of things going on this week on taking the new listing and making sure that our closings actually close.
Come again? You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please. Huh? You pooped in the refrigerator.
Dropping the key off at the new listing that's coming on the market this week. Meeting the stager there, getting it staged, photo shoot, video shoot coming on later in the week, but want to be able to get the stager in today. So that's the first main thing today that we're working on. 2:20, have some projects to go run around and do. One of our listings closed today, which means the buyers get the property tonight. So I'm going to go get the keys. I'm gonna go get the keys for them. I'm gonna go get our lockbox off that property and get the keys out and delivered to them so that they can get all moved in. Happy seller, happy buyer. It's the way a transaction should go. Oh, this I have to go put in our new listing so that they know where to put the sign. Hey Morgan, what are you doing?
It's cold.
It's cold out here? Oh well, let's go inside then.
Look here.
Okay. I like your little shirt. Who's that on your shirt?
A doggy.
A doggy? Does the doggy have a name?
Pearl.
Pearl.
You keep people.
And there's Pearl right there. Hey, Pearl. Morgan is taking a little nap. Kat is... What is Kat doing? She's got an appointment, buy her, drop off something, package. She's off at an appointment. This is an idea that's been bouncing around in my head for a while, and I need to get out because Catherine and I have been discussing it a little bit, but I need to clarify it more because it will help us with business, also help us with productivity, and it involves mindset too. It's really those three things which are a big deal. Mindset, business, and productivity. So if I can increase those and make all of those a plus factor, that's a great thing. So here's what it is. I look at everyone as being one of three types of people. You have consumers, you have critics, and you have creators. Now, all of us are consumers. We're all consuming. In fact, I would say some of the best creators also consume some of the most information. You know, the best writers seem to read the most. The best directors seem to watch the most movies and television. So, creating is connected to consuming, no doubt. And to be a critic, you also have to be a consumer also. So that kind of goes back and forth. The problem as I see it is when you become too much of a consumer, when you're consuming so much information, too much time on Facebook, watching too much television, binge watching Netflix every single day, you're consuming too much. And maybe that's not a problem for everyone that's not trying to be a creator, that's not trying, and building a business is definitely a creation. You're building something, you're creating a business. Businesses have to create products, they have to create services, they have to create marketing campaigns, they have to create customers and clients. So maybe being a creator isn't for everyone. I would debate that it is, because if you want to have the best life, if you want to live the best life that you can live, you're the only one that can create that life. It starts with who you are and what you want. How are you going to create that? So I think all of us are creators, and all of us are consumers, and all of us are critics. The toughest thing with being a creator is first, you're your own worst critic. And then once you get past being your own critic, there's so many critics that exist out there online. And I don't know if people, maybe people were always this critical before. They were always this negative and always this jaded and cynical. And there was always troll-like people and behavior that existed out there. They just didn't have the platforms that allowed them to be such critics and such trolls. On the same side of this, creators haven't, if you lived in the 1800s, what were you able to create? Maybe you could be a writer with some ink and some paper. How hard was it for you to be an artist? And obviously you're not going to be making videos. So it's the yin and the yang. There's some good, and you got to take the bad with the good that comes along with it. So as a creator, first, you have to stop consuming so much so that you have time to create more. Second, you have to stop being so critical of yourself so that you can just go ahead and create whatever it is that's in your head and get it out into the world. And third, you have to not worry so much about the critics that are just being critical for critics' sake, just because they're being trolls and negative. That's a tough thing to do. Now, for critics, there's a lot of critics that have made careers being critical. And you even see some of these things on YouTube and on other platforms now where people will look at what creators are doing and then judge it. And that's their entire platform. Like that's where they're coming from. I just find that interesting that if you didn't have someone to critique, what would you do? Where's your original thoughts or ideas? If you're only reacting to what someone else is doing, what's that say about you? What's that say about your originality, your creativity? You're a reactionary person at best, and you're reacting in a negative light. And it doesn't need to be like an in-depth creation of, I made a video essay about why I didn't like this movie or why I didn't make this book. A lot of critics are commenting on Facebook posts, on YouTube videos, on blog posts, whatever it is. They're being critical with their negative comments. And going back to the idea of mindset and productivity and business growth, I find it absolutely fascinating that anyone, for me, I just lack time. If there was one resource that I could have more of, it would absolutely be time. But I find it absolutely fascinating that someone would take time out of their day, out of their life, to consume something, to be a consumer, and then second go, hey, that was horrible. I did not enjoy it at all. So I'm going to take even more time to let this person know how much I disliked consuming the information and why I think they're wrong. Why would you give up any more time than what you have to, especially when you don't like something? It's fascinating to me. It's absolutely fascinating. So like I said, this is me just trying to figure this stuff out right now. So I would say the main points I'm taking away from my own thoughts out loud are: 1, consumers, we could all be consuming less. Number 2, critics. What's your deal? Why are you being so critical? If you want to be a creator, if that's what you really want to be, and I think deep down that's what most critics want. They want to be creators, but they don't know how to create something original, so they have to wait for someone else to do something and then judge it and be negative about it. So critics, just be self-aware and realize, I just need to go create my own thing. And that's the thing about being a creator, is that you're your own worst critic. So get out of your own way and just go create. That's why I think most critics, they're not creating their original stuff. They're not doing something that is original to them because they're their own worst critic. They don't want to put something else out into the world because they got this negative self-talk and personal constraints and limiting beliefs going on in their own head. And then so when they see someone else do it, they jump all over that. Stop consuming so much information. Stop being so critical and create more. Just be a creator. Whatever it is that you create, create it.